Hello, Poppy. Hey everyone, it's DQ Reads. So today I kind of wanted to put a spotlight on small authors or small books. Now, I hate saying it like this, but I mean, that's kind of what they are. When you look at a small author or a new author, I guess you could even call them, their books are very different. The publishing is completely different. But I recently discovered, which is sad because it should not have been recently, but in college, I remember seeing a Facebook event for an author coming to the local Indigo store for a book signing. And I had no idea who this author was, no idea about this book, nothing. But I was like, I love Indigo, I love reading, I love books. Let's get in there, let's meet this lady, and let's see what happens. And I went in there and she was off to the side and she was with two other people that were like clearly with her and or like knew her maybe, and I was so scared to go up there. My friends were like, what are you doing? Just like go up, get a book and get it signed, like who cares? And I was so freaked out for some reason. I was just so nervous to meet an actual published author. So I eventually did it. She said hi, she signed my book, we said like all the typical things you would say in those times, and it was honestly amazing. And I was so excited to read this book, and I'm so glad for that opportunity because it really did show me that just because they're a small author, maybe they haven't been like hugely published with like millions of copies or whatever, doesn't mean that they're a bad author or not as good. Now, I've also read authors that are small and local that I didn't like. There's one, I still buy all of her books. She's written 2 so far. I did like the books, they were pretty good, but I felt like there was a lot of problems in the stories. The books were very thin, and I felt like they could have been almost double the size if she had just put more detail and explanation, if that makes sense. Not that they were bad books, and not that you shouldn't support small local authors. I think you honestly should, because it gives someone in your community a wonderful opportunity to grow as an author. And hey, you will probably find some hidden gems like I did. So let's start with the first book, which is the book that truly started it all, that I fell in love with. I've read twice now. This is another book that I somehow just knew I was gonna love, so I kept in pristine condition as I was reading it, which is very difficult. And that book is called Dead Babies by Molly Stroud Smith. Now this book is wild. I'm gonna give you a really brief description of it because I really don't want to spoil anything, but it basically just like follows a mother who's had a lot of kids as she kind of mentally deteriorates and has to figure out how to do it with the kids and with her controlling husband and finding that balance. It's amazing. There is a warning I like to say to people because I have recommended this to other people, but then I immediately go, wait, because if you are a mother or very close to small children of any sort, I would say this comes with a warning. It can get graphic at times, and I can totally understand how someone who has a child or has multiple children or has just had a child could maybe take this too much to heart. It's not a true story, it's completely fiction, but I totally understand if it's too much for you because it can be very graphic. But that being said, I did love the book. I loved it so much. I love books with a little bit of a psychological twist to them. So good, so amazing. I follow her on Instagram. I've reached out to her before. She's super great. I don't know if she's working on another book right now or not, but she's just a wonderful woman and just an inspiration in general. I'm gonna link her Instagram below because it's on the book cover in the back, but also she's a really great woman and she has really great Instagram content. She's into photography as well as just sharing parts of her life, which are great. I really recommend you look up this book. Try to search it. I'm gonna try to find even a link for Amazon or something so you can look at it down below. I really think we should support authors, new up-and-coming authors. I honestly think that if she writes more books like this or similar to this or in this kind of captivating way, she will 100% make it. It's so good. The next hidden gem small book that I want to talk about is one that I actually didn't want to buy. So the local bookstore in my area will do like author signings, more so for new and upcoming authors. And during one of these signings, I just happened to go into the store, like I didn't even know they were having this. And there were two authors there, the one I'm going to talk about and then the one I mentioned earlier where she has like really good books, but I find like they could be longer, maybe a little bit more detailed. And I don't consider one of those my favorite small authors, so I'm not going to feature that in this video. But I can feature those another time because she's written 2 books and both of them were good. So this author is one that I honestly didn't care to get a book from, funny enough, but I am super into sharks, and one of his books had to do about a shark attack victim, which I am also obviously always interested in, loving sharks. But I don't know what it was. I was more interested in the woman's books because she was a fiction writer, and then this guy was more nonfiction. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know what I'd like. Like, he had written quite a few books where she had only written the one at the time, and I was like, I don't know, I don't really want to get that many. I don't really like that idea of that kind of stuff. But my parents kind of like forced me because they were buying me the books, so they're like, no, get this one, get this one. And I ended up reading it after my other books, and I remember being like, those ones were like 3.5, maybe 3 stars, and then this one was like a 5-star, which is so funny because I wasn't even interested in it. But this is called Shark Assault, an amazing story of survival by Peter Jennings and Nicole Moore. So Nicole Moore, who is the woman in this photo, was the one that was actually attacked, and Peter Jennings is more the author who basically took a deep dive in her story and her life and helped narrate the story, the afterlife, I guess you could say, of the shark attack. And it was honestly an amazing book. I'm so glad that I got it, and I'm so glad that I was forced to get it because I loved it way more than I thought I would, clearly, because I didn't give it a chance at all. It was just a truly inspiring and amazing story. The woman is also fairly local to me as well, so it's pretty crazy to have something like this happen to someone who is local. It did not happen locally. She went somewhere much more tropical and beautiful, and unfortunately it ended not as planned. Let's say that, not as planned. But she's doing great now. I really encourage you to pick up this story. It's a crazy story, and it's really interesting to learn, especially from the perspective of someone who has had such an event happen to them. It's really an interesting book because a lot of it's written from his perspective as like someone writing about this woman, but then a lot of it's also written from her perspective as someone who had the attack. So it's really written from both perspectives, which is crazy, and I don't even know how they did it and made it so seamless, but he did it, they did it, it was amazing. It's amazing. Definitely recommend this. So this video was kind of weird. It was kind of just like a weird PSA and like being like, hey, these are 2 small town local authors that I fell in love with their books, and check out your local authors. Are you a local author? Put your book link, let me buy it in the description, in the comments. Let me buy it. I just got so excited about me potentially buying someone else's book that like has connected with me on YouTube that I couldn't even talk. But I definitely recommend you either picking up these 2 books or picking up these 2 books and checking out books from your favorite local authors. Let me know who they are. Let me know what they are. I love to read them, love to look into them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to hear what you guys recommend, or if you're an author, what you've written. Put a link down in the comments. I'm so excited to check them out. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, do all the things. Share with your friends. Trust me, your friends will love this video.